Y'all, hopefully I'm live now. Things are looking good. Looks like the races are running a little bit late. This is Boise Twilight. Gonna do a little watch along. Hey, what's up, y'all? Patrick, Harry, see you guys just coming in. So the women's race got neutralized for a couple of laps, and looks like they're just about to start men's call-ups. I'll type this in too. Yeah, hey. Sorry, I wanted to start right when the race started, but they're running a little bit behind schedule. So the women's race just ended. I guess I'll give you guys the audio of Frankie talking as well. So women's race just ended. Legion went 1-2. Skylar Schneider, the Schneider sisters. Legion pretty much scooped up all the talent on both. Hey Andrew, what's up? Welcome everybody. Excited to watch this one along and talk about it. So if anybody's not aware of what's going on in the crit world, last weekend was Sunny King. If anyone also doesn't know who I am, Jonathan Crane. I'm a Cat 2 racer, does a lot of crits and cross out of Birmingham, Alabama. So last weekend was the Sunny King Criterium here in Alabama, which is not on the USA Crits calendar, but it is on the Pro Road Tour, which is another national level caliber series calendar of races. And a lot of the same teams were at Sunny King last week. So I got a chance to... I did the Cat 2 race rather than the Pro 1 race, but I did get to see a lot of these guys. And so last week, First Internet Bank took the win. That's the first, I guess. So now they've got a win. Project Echelon has a win at Armed Forces Cycling Classic. And these are of the USA Crits teams when they've all been going up against each other. But Legion of LA basically only had one rider. They just had Ty Magner coming out of Georgia. How do you share this? I have no idea what you mean by that. You mean like how am I... I have a whole streaming setup. So I stream a lot of Zwift racing with this whole rig that I've got going on. I basically... all of my races got canceled last year during COVID. Got into Zwift racing, got into streaming Zwift racing, and what I'm doing right now is using broadcasting software that I use to share my Zwift races to watch along, talk to you guys. Yeah. So to get back to the storyline stuff, Legion only had one rider, Ty Magner, at Sunny King last week. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea, Harry. I'm sorry. You could copy the URL and share. Are you trying to share it on like yeah, Twitch? I'm also on Twitch. What's up, Scott? Scott, I believe Muppet Dungeons. Scott, right? I mean, I'm not blowing up your spot there. But yeah, Ty Magner from Legion is a rider out of Athens, Georgia right now. He actually was a roommate with a guy who is on my road team, Hunter, when they were in college. So I kind of know him, but he put in a real hard ride at Sunny King last week. Yeah, everybody go bully Scott. Primal Audi Denver had a couple guys. They haven't had much of a results to speak of. Uh-oh. They accidentally cut to a commercial there. Robson Forensic. One of these guys was in my race last week. Don't know who he was. I think he got a top 10 though, maybe. Ugliest Kit, right? Okay, I'm hearing that he used to race for Piedmont over at Georgia Tech. NLC, this is my local rivals. So I'm out of Birmingham, Alabama. Nashville Local Cycling, obviously out of Nashville. So I race against these guys a lot. I would say that if there's anyone to watch on NLC, it's TJ Kilela. That dude is real strong. He was making moves at Sunny King in the pro race. He got into a little breakaway of 5 with Michael Hernandez from Best Buddies. Good Guys hasn't really found their footing this year. They are a local New York City team that's moving up a level this year, and I don't know. We'll see if they really can hang at this level. They're a good team, but Legion. This is another thing that's happened. I think Good Guys is at the level that USA Crits was at maybe 2017, 2018. But with Legion basically building a top level team just to race USA Crits, which there have been high level teams like United Healthcare in the past was like a top level team that did a lot of the American crit scene, but most of the riders, especially the star riders on that team, were always looking to go to Europe. So Legion, I think the sea change we're seeing here is that Legion is the first team to try to build a budget, build a program to focus on American criterium racing, and their star riders, Corey and Justin, their goal is not expressly to do American races. They don't want to go to Europe at all. So that's the change. And then they bought up, I mean, Ty Magner, who I was talking about a minute ago, was on United Healthcare when they used to dominate the criteriums. And so they've hoovered up a lot of that serious talent. See, Gutenplan rider out of Florida right here. Oh, that's Gutenplan himself. That's David Gutenplan. If anybody's read Phil Guyman's first book, there's a really funny story about David Gutenplan in there. He talks about, so Phil Guyman and Gutenplan raced together in Florida. I think they both went to University of Florida and raced for the collegiate team. And Gutenplan still lives in Florida. I race with Gutenplan riders occasionally. They come up through Alabama, Georgia, do that stuff. But the funny Gutenplan story is that his coach prescribed him all of his training based on heart rate zones. And so he did a whole winter where he would just down espresso to raise his heart rate level and was basically like artificially inflating his heart rate. And then he would do his training. So like what was probably supposed to be 300 watts was actually, 150 or something. And then the first few races of the season, he was just getting absolutely blown out the back. And I actually mentioned that story to him one time, and he seemed to not know what I was talking about. And it was like, have you not read Phil's book? So, I thought that was funny. CS Velo, noteworthy for having that Sean Gardner kid. That's not Sean Gardner, but they have Sean Gardner who set that Eversting record that held for a while after Phil Guyman's Eversting record. That's really the most notable CS Velo thing. They have not had great results that I'm aware of this season. My friend Will Seitz has done a lot of early season racing with them. Okay, here's Thomas Gibbons. This is one to watch. I think he's one of the only sprinters who can go toe-to-toe with the Williams brothers. The difference is that he does not have the same level of team behind him. His team is basically, he sort of put an open call out to like Cat 1's high-level collegiate riders, and all of his guys are like really good, young, hungry Cat 1-2s. They're looking to make a name for themselves, but they're not the seasoned talents like Ty Magner over on Legion, even like the Malherbe brothers on Cliff Bar. So it's like they've got a big gun as far as the sprinter goes, and then a lot of young, hungry but unproven guys backing him up. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But look for Gibbons to be there. I also think, okay, this is something I'll follow. A storyline I want to put out there. Gibbons in some of the Tulsa races was going for the points preems, and those are preems that give you points for the overall series. I think Gibbons' goal is to be as high as he can in the series overall. So you could actually win that without winning any races or as many races, because there are points on the line every time. The Legion riders have not won. So we got Corey here with the GoPro on his head. His brother, Corey's in the California State Champion jersey. His brother behind him, Red Bull helmet, that's Justin. I'm sure everyone watching this knows who Justin is, but Justin Williams right there. Significant that he's the first Red Bull sponsored road cyclist. So Justin came out in the series leader jersey. Strip that off. He's in the straight up Legion kit now. Who else have we got from Legion in here? Looking at who we got on the line. Nobody from Best Buddies getting a call up. That's O'Connor Saley from butcherbox right here. So I think butcherbox, I was saying, it seems like the goal of automatic is for Gibbons to get up there in the individual rider points overall. Butcherbox, I think, is going to go for the team points overall. They're second or third on points right now. I'm going to pull that up, actually. Let's look at the Jersey Awards and stats. So I've also got, this is a new thing I'm doing, this watch along, but it should be fun. I've got my phone here so I can look some stuff up and show you guys whatever I'm finding. Might pull up some of these guys' Stravas or previous rides, other people to watch. I'm going to go through some other guys who did not get a call up, but I think they're probably ones to watch. I think, I'm not even totally sure he's here, but I think if your team is doing USA Crit Series, you're doing the whole thing. Clever Martinez from Rockland Velo. They were in these like digital camo looking kits the last couple of races. This has thrown me off that they are now in. It's like a white kit with navy sleeves. Says Chinelli. I think they just recently got a Chinelli sponsorship, which I got a Chinelli right there. Rode a Chinelli road bike for years, but I think Clever Martinez is one to watch for sure. He's a new hungry rider for sure, going hard, looking to make a name for himself this season, and he's the only one who has invaded the Legion sprint train. I would say he's one of the only guys who is successfully. So the Crybaby Hill day of Tulsa Tough, he actually came into that sprint like second or third wheel. He was able to actually insert himself into that sprint train. So that is interesting. Here we go. Let's see if this camera can find these guys. Just to recap the women's race a little bit. Legion went 1-2. I believe there was a crash, and it got real messy. There was a crash in the last 5 laps. Made it interesting. We got Best Buddies up here, setting some pace. So Best Buddies came out of Sunny King looking pretty good. Although, like I said, Legion didn't have a full squad there. So let's go 720 here. Make sure I'm upping my quality as much as possible for you guys. Get a good clean stream going. So yeah, Best Buddies looking to make a statement here early. I think Michael Hernandez is probably the rider they will be working for, but they got a ton of heavy hitters from the American crit scene throughout history. They've got Eric Marcotte on that team, who has been national champion several times. Hey, yeah, no problem, America. Yeah, I love talking about this stuff, thinking about this stuff. I'd be watching it anyway, so I'm happy to watch it with you guys. And feel free to throw questions in the chat or something. I'll be watching along, talking along. That's kind of the point of doing this, so I can chat with you guys. So I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this live did watch Tulsa, but Legion basically controlled Tulsa wire to wire most of those races, meaning that they went to the front and just set pace the whole time. Looks like Best Buddies. Gene and Johnson cycling. I have not. Where's Gene and Johnson out of? They're not a USA Crits D1 team, are they? I don't think so. It looks like most everybody is here. I'm seeing most of the jerseys. Looks like, I think, so one thing that USA Crits does a good job of is creating a series that the teams are really bought into. So if you're a team that's doing, I have not heard of Lachlan Holiday. Who is that? What team is he on? Who's he racing for? Tell me his palmares. What should I know about him, Patrick? I'm open to suggestions. Oh, okay. They're like a wild card. So I think that USA Crits, if you're a USA Crits D1 team, you are required to send, I think, like 4 riders to each of the big USA Crits races. Man, okay, the crash in the finale at U.S. Nationals. Here's what I think happened. For anyone who doesn't know, Corey and Michael, I believe Michael from Best Buddies. Yeah, I know the Crit Championships, the Pro Crit Championships. I believe Michael Hernandez from Best Buddies was caught up in that crash as well. Took out all the favorites, kind of. I think what happened there, from looking at multiple angles and like cell phone videos from people on the sides, looked to me like what happened was, oops, stream's going wonky. That is not me. That's on USA Crit's end. I think what happened is the Avolo rider tried to come outside of Corey. He was overlapping Corey. Corey tried to go all the way to the barricades, and basically what you should do if you're the rider that's behind there, so the Avolo rider who was trying to come up on Corey, who was overlapping Corey but behind. If you were that rider behind, what you need to do is lean your shoulder into the person in front of you's hip so that when you make contact, it is body to body. It's not bike to bike. And if you watch the overhead of the sprints, like the sprint stages of the Tour de France, you'll see a lot of that, guys. It looks like they're actually trying to body check each other. And people who don't race tend to look at that and go like, are these guys trying to knock each other off? And that's actually a precaution measure, because when you are overlapped like this with someone, they come over and you touch bikes, you're done. Race, ride over. If they come over, you're overlapped, you're in basically their blind spot. They come over and you are leaned forward and toward them, your shoulder is going to make contact before anything else makes contact. So I think what happened there was Corey was trying to swing all the way out in that corner. The Avolo guy, they made some sort of contact. He got squirrely and they just got all tangled up. That's what it seems like to me. And so if I had to put the fault on somebody there, it would be the Avolo rider. But again, like, there's no clear video of that actually happening. That's like me sort of trying to Zapruder film it. Yo, what's up, Anthony? Welcome. Looks like I guess there was a points preem there. Sorry, I was talking about nationals so much that I missed the call if there was a points preem. But the fact that Gibbons led through there supports my theory that Thomas Gibbons is going for the overall, and he's trying to soak up all of these points that potentially Legion and Best Buddies don't care about, knowing that he can go for these points early and then also be there. Like, even if he doesn't win the sprint at the end, if he's consistently third in these field sprints throughout the year, he's going to get a lot of points. Speak of the devil, we got an Avolo rider coming up the outside there. Exactly like what I was just talking about, doing the exact same thing that I think they were trying to do in the finale of Pro Crit Nationals. Let's see who that is. So Avolo is a junior development team headed up by Michael Creed, who used to work for USA Cycling. He's been on like all of the most notorious teams, but I think he's actually an all right dude. I don't think, fingers crossed, I don't think he ever doped or anything. That's why his name is not, as big as Lance Armstrong or something. But Creed had a great podcast called Mike Check, I want to say. But if you just search Mike Creed, we got two Avolo riders. So this is kind of Avolo's bread and butter, is to just throw Hail Marys all day long. Interesting that they're trying to get up there together. Although this is what it's going to take to break down the tactic that Legion has been doing. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Corey, honestly, Corey or Hernandez from Best Buddies could have won that. There are probably two or three other guys that could have won it that were up there that got tangled up. The other team I haven't mentioned here is Project Echelon. So Project Echelon is the team in the sort of like almost like Bianchi Celeste jersey with the black bibs. They've got a number of guys. Their focus, so they're interesting because they are not as focused on the crits. They're kind of doing everything. They're also doing the stage races like Tour of Utah and all that stuff. Yo, Anthony in the chat. Where are you at these days? I think I saw you post a picture from New York City. Haven't seen you in a minute. Anthony, I believe the only crit Anthony has ever done. I was there. The Mobile Cycling Classic, 2018, 19, something like that. Been a minute. Hope that race happens this year. That's a fun one in Mobile, Alabama, down there on the bay. Uh, Primal Audi Denver has the ugliest helmets. It looks like a Ninja Turtle on their head. Those things are insane. So Legion just totally controlling things at Tulsa. What I'm hoping we're going to see here is a lot more of what has been happening from Avolo. Guys getting off the front, whether they're from the same team or different teams. Guys getting off the front, trying to work together, trying to make the pace high, and making Legion work to chase them down. Nice. There's some good riding in Arkansas. I actually rode out there. I was in Little Rock. My fiance's family lives out there, but good riding in Bentonville for sure. Out in Arkansas. Arkansas is underrated, I'm gonna say, although it's becoming more highly rated in cycling circles. So let's see. It's interesting that Best Buddies is doing the chasing here. I think what really needs to happen is they need to force Legion to do the chasing. This race is really a NASCAR race. This one is super wide, as you can see, flat, four corner. Oh, geez, Alaska. I thought AK was Arkansas. That's wild, man. You better get a fat bike up there. So this is one. This race course is one that you can probably tail gun a little bit more. Tail gun meaning just like sit at the back, and it's not gonna do the accordion effect where, as you go through the corner, someone touches brakes and everyone squishes together because they're more brakes, more brakes, more brakes, and then you got to punch hard out of it. When the accordion effect is happening, the farther back you are, you're going to get in danger because those surges out of the corners are going to be worse. This one is wide, flat, all of these corners. You can take full gas and pedal the whole time. So it's going to be a little bit more possible to hang out. So that makes it hard for a breakaway because the field can start rotating and bring the pace up and bring back a breakaway pretty easily. But at the same time, sorry, listening to Frankie, who he's calling out. I need to hear who he says is in the breakaway. The Avolo guys are definitely good riders, though. I mean, I don't think this break is going to stick, but this is what's going to happen is throwing bombs up the road and just making Legion burn through their guys. So hopefully, I think Best Buddies was trying to make a statement there by getting on the front early and just saying like, hey, we're here, we can do it. Like, we're not just going to let Legion dictate all night, dictate the pace and ride the front. But they do need to get off the front and force Legion to do some of the chasing of these two Avolo riders. This is a weird tactic, though. Like, normally you don't see people normally don't let two teammates get away together like this because they're going to be doing real smooth changes, staying real tight to the wheel, keeping it together. Yeah, it's still pretty wide in the field too. That's something to look for. Is like when it gets going real fast, the field will go from being wide to like double file, single file. That's when it's really ripping. But yeah, this course it's so wide. The corners are so wide. You can basically pedal the whole time. It can be real fast. I wonder what the wind is doing. That's something I would love. I wish they had like a windsock right here. I'm looking. It looks like they got 59 laps to go, 12 minutes in. It's very important to clock where those clocks are. That's something that I did not do in my own race at Sunny King, which I will have a breakdown from that Cat 2 race at Sunny King, which I've been editing that down. I think I got some good takeaways from that. That's a race I've done a bunch of times, so I've got a little bit of like insider knowledge on how that thing normally breaks down. Looks like we got Amino Rip cycling up there toward the front too. They're in the black kits with the gold bands don't know so much about them, but it looks like they're lining up behind Legion, behind Best Buddies. Uh, Looks like some butcherbox guys hanging out by the back there. I think they're going to be pulling riders. If anyone is losing the pace, your day is done if you've lost it at all. Love to see the numbers on these two dudes or hear from Frankie. I got Frankie Andreu in my ears. I'd love to hear from him who these two are. I want to say so. Lance Haydet, the cyclocross racer, uh, he may be on Legion now. I want to say he's raced for Avolo. They get a lot of good cyclocross racers coming through Avolo. Oh yeah, but Creed, who is the director of Avolo, his podcast Bite Check has had some hilarious installments. Is that Kerry Werner on the front? Speaking of cyclocross for Project Echelon, Kerry, I think that's Kerry Werner because he has the 360 GoPro on his head. Werner is one of the top 5 cyclocross racers in North America for sure. He is racing with Project Echelon this summer. This is his first time racing road at this level, but he had a really good weekend at Tulsa. He's been doing really well, but he has a YouTube channel as well where he does more like vlog style stuff that kind of walks you through the full day, but he uses that 360 GoPro all the time. And I think he's the only guy on Project Echelon that runs one of those. So I wonder if that was him. We got a CS Velo rider either pulling himself or going into getting a bike change or something there. Primal Audi Denver chasing. It looks like they're trying to go across maybe. Primal Audi Denver. Is that, let's see, Angus was talking about Gene and Johnson cycling out of Seattle. I wonder if that was a Gene and Johnson rider in the one kit I didn't recognize going up the road there. I think those guys are trying to bridge across to the breakaway without taking people with them, but probably what they're going to end up doing is just welding this back together. And the difference there, bridging to the breakaway, is when there's a peloton, there's a breakaway, one guy goes, two guys, a small group goes from this group to this group. Welding is when there are one or two guys here and their speed sort of just like pulls the whole thing back together, and then the breakaway and the peloton become one again. And it looks like this is a welding situation. All those guys that are trying to, you get guys that'll try to launch across that gap, and as one guy launches, someone marks them. It sort of strings the field out. Someone launches from there. It just sort of like creates this bridge. It's like the elastic stretching out, and it'll eventually touch the breakaway and then come back together and reshuffle. I think that's probably what we're going to see here. What I hope to see is some teams that have not really shown themselves at the front, realizing that if only to get some TV time, they need to get up the road. So I would love to see like Cliff Bar throwing some guys up the road. I think there have to be a lot of teams after Tulsa realizing that they don't have a sprinter or a sprint train that can go head to head with Legion. Another interesting thing about this race as compared to the Tulsa races is, as I said, this one's wide open, 4-corner, not as tight and technical as the Tulsa races. So there's more of an opportunity for us to have like 2 parallel lead out trains at the end. So like Legion with their 5 guys, and then next to them Best Buddies with their 5 guys, or whatever it may be. I would think Best Buddies would be the team that would try to do the lead out training contest. Yo, what's up, Thomas? Welcome to the Boise race. I guess that CS Velo rider probably had a flat there. It looks like he just got a wheel change. So people think so that's called taking a free lap. That's in lieu of, what they would do in the Tour de France is you go back to the car, get a wheel, ride through the cars to the group. You get a free lap if you have a mechanical up to, at Sunny King last week, it was 7 to go, which is a weird number. It's normally like 5 to go. You can't take a free lap anymore, but people often think that taking a free lap, that sounds good. It sounds like a rest or whatever. But free lap is not not I don't want a free lap because if you've ever been on a long ride or a hard ride and you do a store stop and then get going again, that feeling in your legs after like sort of shutting down, cooling down for a second, it feels so bad. Yeah, totally, Tom. Uh, it that's exactly what I'm getting at. It always feels like crap to have to take a free lap and then try to get back on. These guys are also doing, I would guess, probably 29 miles an hour right here, at least. So I think I saw TJ kill Leia still in here. Also, you're not really seeing it because they keep the cameras on the front, but this field probably already 20, 30 guys have been dropped off the back just because it's so fast. And the level, like I said, Legion has really kicked things up a level. Best Buddies is taking it. Yeah, exactly, Daniel. Cafe legs is a good term for that. Although with a free lap, you don't even get the cafe. You're normally like in the pit frantically like, give me a wheel. Oh, what size rotor is that? Oh, like I need, my derailleurs. It's so stressful that like you don't even get. You definitely don't get a baked good or a coffee as you would if you were doing an actual cafe stop, and then you don't get to like rest and chill like you would at the cafe. You are just your heart rate stays pinned, your legs get tired, it sucks. So good luck to that CS Bellow rider. They're another like Cliff Bar. I would love to see them taking some big swings. Yeah, no problem. Happy to talk about this stuff. I love it. I'm impressed with these Avolo riders. So Avolo is a junior development team. Everyone on Avolo, I believe, is under 23 years old. They're all Cat ones. My friend William Seitz is on like the feeder team for Avolo, so I ride with him a lot here in Birmingham. I'm gonna say so. It really doesn't matter the length of the course for a free lap, Tom. I think that it really matters the speed of the course, like how wide open it is. I think that to get back on a more technical course, a course that has more corners or tighter corners or a hill or something, is going to be easier. Anywhere that the peloton's going to slow down, you're going to have a chance to like make that juncture and get back in there. I think this is honestly the nightmare course for a free lap. For that reason, generally a longer course would be worse, just because like the shorter a course is, the closer together the corners are going to be. But it's also possible that you could have a short course where all the corners are wide and you're going fast the whole time. Yeah, I wonder if that's Carrie there with in the Project Echelon kit with the GoPro on his head. It's got to be. Seen some Cliff Bar riders. Looks like that CS Velo rider is back in. They're taking this gap down. It looks like Legion is finally putting the big guns. We got Legion only had like 2 or 3 guys really sitting at the front, but America for the Win. You can watch this at Velo News or at if you just go to the USA Crits website. It's on their landing page. 51 laps to go. That's something I started to talk about a minute ago. Is the lap counter is normally somewhere on that start finish arch, although sometimes it's just like cards on the side, but it's normally somewhere around that start finish area. In my race at Sunny King, it was actually in years past, it's been over on the rider left where the announcers are, where Frankie Andreu, who's like announcing this race, it's normally over there, but this year it was on the Jumbotron, which is over on rider right, and you're also seeing the race that you're in while you're in. It's really bizarre. Looks like we're reshuffling. I think they're catching that break. So yeah, you can see it right there, 50 right above my head. That's the lap counter, and then there's a counter counting up 22 minutes and 52 seconds. That's the total race time. So I believe this race, they normally don't set the number of laps until a few laps in. What they do is, this is going to be an hour and 15-minute race is the goal. So they time the first few laps, take the average time and then try to extrapolate how many laps at roughly that speed will it take to make an hour and 15 minutes. So, what team is this attacking? We got somebody I don't know. Maybe this is perhaps the team that was mentioned. I'm looking for it in the chat right now. So tell me about Andrew Harris. Who is Andrew Harris? Gerbendal. Maybe this is Andrew Harris. That's a name I don't know. Avolo going with the counter there. So the two Avolo riders got brought back, and they are sending someone else up the road right now. What I was getting at with talking about all the Avolo guys being young is that they're all looking to get noticed, and they're also not going to be like the strongest straight up drag racers in this field. Definitely not the strongest sprinters, being like younger, smaller guys. So I think for a lot of them, taking some big risks, getting up the road, getting on the broadcast, getting your name set out, that's going to be the best way for them to get noticed and get picked up by a bigger team. That's sort of the point of Avolo, is to develop younger riders to get them in these big races, get some experience in their legs. So who is this? Rio? No idea who this is. We got a wild card rider getting up the road here. That's only about a 5-second gap. Sam Boardman riding on the front again, just kind of turning the legs over. You're coming through with all of the crazy emojis, Scott. Not emojis, reacts. What do we call them on Twitch? I should know this as a Twitch streamer. Ooh, it's strung out. Those guys at the back have got to be hurting. Emote. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Tom. There was a rider about to get pulled. Like I said, there are guys falling off the back. You're not seeing it because it's not in the. They're going to these head-on camera shots and staying ahead of the race, but there are riders coming off the back. These two guys are getting after it. I'm gonna really. Okay, that's Chaz Hoganar from Team Rio Grande. That is who's up the road with that Avolo rider. So I don't know much about Rio Grande. I want to say they're like a Cat 1 team out of somewhere out west. Like I've heard that name before, but I don't really know much about them other than I've heard that name before. Ooh, yeah, that field is way smaller than it was for sure. We probably lost, if I had to guess, we probably lost 30 riders, 40 riders. I think the start list here was 140 or something guys were pre-registered, something like that. This is what we're going to have to see if anybody wants to dethrone Legion really this year, other than Best Buddies, who could, on a course like this, potentially go toe-to-toe, as I said earlier, like sprint train for sprint train parallel right next to each other. So Thomas Gibbons, I just heard Frankie say it on the stream. No, Zombie, if you are off the back, so you see the motorcycles in front and the motorcycle behind. See that motorcycle our left right there? If you drop behind that motorcycle, you are pulled and you get off the course. That keeps it from getting messy. It could be real weird. So the only way that's not true is if a breakaway goes away and the breakaway was to get around back to the back of the field. They're not going to pull all of the other riders. Very different attrition rates in a crit like this, Tom. This is something people I don't think realize. People ask me how long my races are and like compare it to the tour. And it is insane that the tour does, 200 miles in a day for 21 days. That's wild, but I will say a race like this that is short and fast is like it's a different world. It's a different energy system. It's full gas the whole time. It's just a totally different effort. I mean, it's the difference between running a marathon and running track, Yeah, it's a lot more micro efforts. It's a lot more. You'll see it on my. So I've got a breakdown. I'm speaking of the tour. Going to put out the breakdown of my Sunny King ride, the Cat 2 race on the rest day on Monday. But you'll see in that video, like my average power is not that high, and it's because I'm doing a lot of coasting into the corners. But coming out of each corner, I'm doing 5, 6, 700 watts. So these guys, Anthony, are probably gonna. I would guess they're gonna average somewhere between 28 and 30 miles per hour. Yeah, they've got to pull people, Scott. That's the thing is if you weren't pulling riders and then this main group is coming back up on riders who have already fallen off the back, it would get real dangerous, and it would also get confusing, like who is on what lap and who am I actually racing. So that's why they pull racers in crits. Sometimes in like lower level or local crits, you'll see races where they just tell you if you're lapped, that's fine, just get back in. But cool. Anthony, have you ever been to Sunny King? I don't know if you ever got out there when you lived in Alabama, but yeah, thanks, Tom. Thanks for doing the conversion there. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So like for reference, I did the Cat 2 race at Sunny King, which is like one level. This is the pro race. Cat 2 is like elite amateur. We averaged 27 miles per hour. These guys are probably doing 28 on the Sunny King course, 28, 29 on the Sunny King course. But Sunny King also has a hill in it, and corner 3 kind of pinches down. This course is like this is like Talladega Super Speedway. This Boise course, totally flat. All these corners are wide. You can pedal through them. So I think speeds are going to be pretty high here. The only reason the speed wouldn't be really high is that people are discouraged because the brakes keep getting pulled back. Yeah, I remember one year, Anthony, a guy I know locally was doing something where he was like broadcasting his Garmin data on some app. So like as I was watching the race at Sunny King, he was in the pro race. He was on a team known as Palmer at that point, Palmer Cycling. I guess that is now Velovit, but Palmer Pro Cycling out of Louisiana area. But I could watch his data and just say like as they're coming by, like, oh, they're doing 31 right now or whatever, and regularly they were doing over 30 miles an hour with some slow downs to 26, coming into the corners. So it averages out to somewhere between 28. For reference, the elite road race national champion, they did 29 for 100 miles, but that was on a totally flat course in Florida. And no, not as many. I won't say no corners, but not as frequent corners as this. And even though you can pedal through these corners, you still got to. It still slows you down a little bit to go through the corners. But these corners are definitely not slowing you down as much as some of the other races that have like a 180 or a corner where it goes from these big, like, see, we got like 2 travel lanes, 2 parking lanes, like four lanes here. Scott, I don't feel good about it. I suck at super flat races like that. Who won Sunny King in 2012? I don't know. I don't go back that far. I started racing road bikes in 2014. So I think we got. Okay, that's Tyler Williams for Legion. I thought that might have been Ty Magner for Legion. I do know Ty Magner won it in 2015. Sorry, they might have said that on the so 41 to go there for anybody who's keeping track right above my head. 41 laps to go. Let me tune in here. I've been looking at the chat so much and just yapping. I need to tune back into the race situation. Yeah, I agree, Tom. Totally flat nationals is not for me, but there's a type of rider for whom totally flat nationals is their bread and butter. Here we go. Yeah, remember I said Cliff Bar. I was hoping to see Cliff Bar lobbing some bombs. I think that after Tulsa, teams are going to realize this is what they got to do if they don't think they can go toe to toe sprint train with Legion. they're going to have to get in some of these moves. And it looks like what's going on here is Cliff Bar got in this move and the other teams are not working with him. And you saw him doing his arm like that, trying to wave those guys through. I think this is catch and kill is what I would call it. No, I think Cliff Bar, I think he wanted to go. That's a rider getting pulled, so that guy's going to have to get off the course right now. I believe. Yeah, the camera guy's like, who is that? What's going on? Motorcycles are about to come through. That's how you know that guy is not on the lead lap. Because this motorcycle will always stay ahead of the front rider. Tom, if there was a preem lap, I didn't hear it though. And I don't think Cliff Bar, maybe they would be going for the preems. I think if it's a points preem and not a money preem, maybe both. I think we'll see Thomas Gibbons going for points preems. Speak of the devil, he was on the outside there. Gibbons, if you're looking to spot people in this race, point people out and see who's who, Gibbons is in the orange kit, orange jersey. You can see it sort of right there. Orange kit, black shorts, blue bike, and the highlighter yellow gloves is how I would know which of the automatic riders is Gibbons. He's their sprinter, black helmet. Definitely keep an eye on him. I think he is, regardless of what the race situation is here, whether there's a breakaway up the road, whether it comes down to a field sprint, whatever it ends up being, he's going to be looking to get points. He's going to go for points. He was the overall winner of the series, the individual rider series in 2019, which no series in 2020, so he's kind of the defending champion in that sense. Having said that, Justin Williams is the defending champion of this specific race. So those are kind of, that's what's at play here. Haven't seen, maybe Clever Martinez is not here. I haven't seen any, that maybe may have been him right there. So Clever Martinez, while we're talking about, stream is potentially crapping out on me here. Come on, stream. Here we go. Sorry, y'all. Let's make sure it's yeah, we're good. Yeah, so Mike's Bikes is here. Hey, Tom, you guys good? You guys seeing me? Everything all good? Just making sure that hiccup is okay, cool. Just making sure. Yeah, Mike's Bikes has a couple of riders here. I've only seen, I think, 2 or 3 Mike's Bikes riders. I'm guessing that's going to be, who's the other guy from NorCal Cycling's videos? I can't think of his name. Okay, I think I am seeing Clever Martinez. Called him out on the start line. It's somebody to watch. Chris R, yes. I've definitely seen the all-purple kit. Cliff Bar, here we go. I said it earlier. Called it from downtown. Yes, Reichert. Chris Reichert is the Mike's Bikes guy. I think they got him and a couple other dudes here. Thanks, America. Appreciate it. Thanks, you guys, for keeping me abreast of the situation. Hey, being live is it's tough to know what's going on because sometimes I'm just shouting into the void here. So always let me know if things go sideways in terms of what you guys are seeing or hearing. So thank you. I think I'm seeing, right as I said, I don't think I've seen Clever Martinez. Evolo again doing it. Love how aggressive they're racing. That might be Floyd Cycling, actually, the guy in the red kit who was on the front chasing there. They're making it exciting and hard, as Frankie said. This is becoming, so now that the puppy paws is banned, so if you guys don't know, it's banned, the thing where you lay, we got points preem here. Points on the next lap. Yeah, Frankie is calling it out too. He thinks that Gibbons is going to be looking for those points. Ooh, we got a interesting situation. I don't think Gibbons is going to be in any points here. I think he was maybe a little bit out of position when they rang that bell. So the reason they do these points preems is to incentivize people to stay up front and stay alert all race rather than maybe hanging farther back in the pack trying to save energy. These points preems, you don't know when they're going to happen. You literally you come through, you hear the bell ringing, points premium on the next lap. So that gives you some incentive to be going for it, going hard, going up front. Okay, that is Gene and Johnson. Okay, thanks, Angus. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, so it seems like they're doing a thing this year where there are the teams that are in it for the whole season, like your Avolo, Legion, Nashville Local, Automatic. Oh, right as I said, Gibbons wasn't gonna get it. He's up there. He's up there, but he's not on the front. We'll see. Maybe Gibbons is gonna get it. I think he's just trying to. Yeah, that's him. That's Gibbons in the orange on the front. Orange highlighter viz, highlighter yellow, high viz gloves. He wants those points. I don't know how deep the points preems go. Anybody know on that? So points preems, or really preems in general, can be anything. A preem could be money. A preem could be. I won a bunch, like the saddlebag on my bike is from a points preem and a crit. I've got a bunch of pairs of Tifosi sunglasses from crit preems. Got this little chase group here, and then yeah, Gibbons has slid back a little bit. I think he might be realizing that he's not close enough for the points. TJ Killalea is looking good there for Nashville Local, still hanging in there. Oh, what's up, Pete? Welcome. Good to see you, man. Oh yeah, there was Reichert. Someone was asking about Reichert. He just rolled by in the purple of Mike's bikes. I was going through kind of how to tell who everybody is. Clever Martinez has got sort of the big, like, I don't want to say afro, but he's got sort of big hair that goes back and sort of poofs out of the back of his helmet. And he is in the white kit Chinelli logo, navy sleeves. I think he's like the big, like, underdog who can kind of upset the apple cart here, punching way above his weight. I think that's Kerry Werner, pro cyclocross racer, second wheel there for Project Echelon, GoPro on his head. Maybe if Kerry's not here, they've sent somebody else. They've put somebody else on GoPro duty. I could be wrong there, but nice, Tom. I'm jealous. From a Volo cycling team took the win. Okay. Nick Zukowski was second, and Ima Nesek in third. Listening to what Frankie's saying here. And 2017, that was the second win. It's going through the results. He won here in 2017. It was Scott Law from Elevate. So I don't see. He just mentioned Elevate won it in 2018. I don't see any Elevate riders here. I think that what's going on is they're doing some like wild card selections, kind of like the Grand Tours do, where they allow a couple of teams who are not doing the whole series to field a rider here or there. Chris, where are you trying to stream it? Where are you having problems? It should be up on Velo News or on, or you can hang out with us here. You know, whatever you want to do, but. Yeah, it's on Velo News. It should be on the USA Crits website. Glad it's working for me. Yeah, I think things are starting to really shake out, and we're seeing the cream rise to the top as we get sort of toward this halfway point of the race. Oh, this is the worst place to be. You see those little gaps between the guys toward the back. That sucks so bad. That's the pain dangle. People who follow this channel have heard me talk about the pain dangle, that when you're dying, you've been over the limit for a long time, and there's just like a bike length gap, and it's like because that gap is there, you're working harder, eating more wind. Brutal stuff when you see the pain dangle like that. Sorry, guys. Hopefully I'm still back. Sorry about that. Yeah, exactly, Barney. That single bike length becomes, especially at these speeds too. Like I was talking about this in my Sonny King breakdown at some point when the field is doing 31, 32 miles per hour, and your one bike length gap is left open. Like, go ride by yourself and just see what it takes to get yourself up to 32 miles per hour. And then imagine you have to hold that long enough to close the gap, and imagine that you've been going hard for, 30 minutes or whatever. You've been maxed out heart rate. Yeah, that's a tough spot to be in, Scott. I've been there many times. I've been there in Sunny King. There was a year when I was a Cat 3 doing Sunny King. There was definitely one time that I got a bad start, got too far back, and it was like every group I got to, I would get up to a group of people, sort of like do the look over the top, realize that someone 4 or 5 wheels in front of me was letting a wheel go in front of them, have to slot out of that group, around the whole group, across the gap, get to the next group. Same thing. Look, 10 wheels up there, guys letting the gap go, and it was like the entire race. It felt like in Mario when you jump on the platform and it falls immediately. That was what it felt like. I was like jumping to these groups that were, I could only stay there for 1 second, and then I had to go to the next group. And I think I finished like in the 20, like I finished in the lead group in the 20s somewhere, but I never even sniffed the front because I was just bad start, caught behind some brake checks, just moving up that whole time. That's a rough place to be in. I think that's part of why Legion is racing the way they are, and Best Buddies just consistently having people at or on the front. You're just not ever going to be subject to that kind of emergency scenario. I think I saw Reichert there in the purple of Mike's bikes on the white tarmac SL7. I'm going to assume that's Reichert. Primal Audi Denver throwing a haymaker. This is the first time I think I've seen them this season getting some guys up the road. They had some dudes at Sunny King. At least one guy in the Cat 2 race got a top 10. I don't know if they might have a sort of multi-tiered squad where they have more than just a D1 roster. I know that's what Nashville local, the red helmets, white and black and red kits. They have a pretty wide roster of guys that are all Cat 1s and Cat 2s, and I think the idea there is they can always fill out these Division 1 races. I think that's not Clever Martinez. That may be another rider from Rockland Racing in the white kit with the navy sleeves. Good to see them throwing some haymakers. Yeah, there's Reichert again. That's got to be Reichert, right, from Mike's Bikes. Mike's Bikes has a couple other freak of nature guys who might be here. But yeah, Scott, the last lap burst. So that's the main thing that has always gotten me in Sunny King is I'm in good position with like 3 to go, and then at some point there's a slowdown, and guys come from the back with speed, and it's like the whole race shuffles, and you're stuck, So this year our goal was kind of, if it slows down in the last 10 minutes of the race, even, to just have one of our guys make it fast so that everyone else can hold position. Because as long as it's fast, if you've already got decent position, it's easier to stay there. But when it slows down, it's really easy to lose 30 positions in a single moment.
So he's with Kaylor Marshall, who's also found himself on the front for the second time.
I think that's Taylor Marshall from Rockland, is what I'm hearing. These guys are working together pretty well, but Legion and Best Buddies are chasing. Okay, here we go. Best Buddies has slotted back in, and they're making Legion do the work. This is really, if you're a team that's not Legion, this is what you got to do, is when there's a break up the road, you got to refuse to work and just say, like, Legion, you guys have put your stamp on these races. You definitively won Tulsa. It's kind of like having the yellow jersey if you're in the Tour de France. You got the yellow jersey. It's your job to set the pace and ride hard at the front. I think that's kind of the same thing here. If you are Legion and you've basically been, absolutely slaying Tulsa wire to wire, you got they do sort of have the yellow jersey in the sense that they've got the leaders jerseys, the series leader team, both the team points and the series points. men's and women's. They went 1-2 in the women's. If you missed that, they went 1-2 in the women's. Kind of a messy finish in the women's here, which is surprising on a course like this. I wouldn't expect for the finish to get real weird. Yeah, we got Legion lined up 5 deep front here. You got to make them do the work to bring this back for real. Yeah, that's the thing is like Legion has the firepower to ride the front. What they were doing though, let's see if I can up this quality. It's looking a little pixel. Yeah, okay. Frankie just said it on the stream. He just said this camera's looking a little fuzzier. That was the drone. It's not my stream, it's a drone. But yeah, Barney, you're right. Legion does have the firepower, but I will say if haymakers are going, all right, we got Project Echelon trying to bridge to this break. That's a good move. I think that's sort of what Project Echelon should be doing, is getting in moves, not being the ones to necessarily chase them back. He is trying to bridge to this, not weld it back together. He wants to get there and still have separation. Let's hope he does it. The Avolo kid here is welding though, for sure. Yeah, Legion though, what they were doing at some of the Tulsa races was they were riding the front the whole time, sort of establishing their dominance and riding up there, but they were only cranking the pace up when someone was off the front. So it was discouraging breaks from going because, like if I'm 1 or 2 riders, Legion's going to put five of the strongest guys in the race rotating like they got right there, right behind me, and those guys are just going to bring it back. But when that move comes back and a counter doesn't go immediately, Legion cranks it back down from from being at 9, they crank it back down to 6. And that allows them they are riding the front, but it allows them to save some energy before that next one. And it seems to me watching them, like they sort of have 2 guys that'll be like Tyler Williams, maybe one other guy who are sort of, those 2 are switching off the whole race. Things get serious, they bring the 3rd and 4th riders, which is Ty Magner, somebody else. Those guys start rotating, but those guys are sort of trying to save themselves for the end if possible, for the lead out. And then they've got Corey and Justin who are like basically not going to take a pull, like unless it was just an absolute emergency. A breakaway of like 10 guys that are working together perfectly got up the road together, and they just can't bring it back. That's the only reason Corey or Justin would be pulling before the sprint really at all. So part of this is just that they're all so well drilled. They know what they're doing all the time. Like as the race situation changes, they know, because they're lined up single file like that at the front too. They've got a sweeper on the back who can let a little gap go and let a Legion rider slot back in there. That's one of the things about, you take a pull, you pull off. Taking a pull is like riding on the front in the wind. You move to the side to pull off. As you go backwards, if there's not a gap already there between riders, you can't just barge your way in all the time. So you might actually have to go back farther than you want to. But when your whole team is there, 2 Legion riders can leave a gap between them at the exact moment that a Legion rider needs it. He gets back in, and they can just keep that rotation going. So that's something that I think they've got going on. That guy's getting pulled. So that is, someone was asking a question about the whether riders would be lapped. That's what happens, is that motorcycle that's sort of sweeping the group stays behind them, and basically when you fall off to a certain level, ooh, all right, here we go. Let's do it, Project Echelon. Danny Summerhill.
They're gauging, they're calculating. When a rider attacks,
listening to what Frankie's got to say here.
They know how hard they're going, and so it's like an automatic computer.
Yeah, so Project Echelon, I think they realize this is what they got to do, is get these little breaks going. One man is not going to be enough, but if Legion doesn't crank it up from that 4 or 5 I was talking about back up to a 9, he could, possible. It's not probable, but it's possible that every other team looks at Legion and says, you guys have to chase this. Legion says, we don't believe one guy's going to do it, so we're going to back off. And if he keeps going, if the Project Echelon rider off the front really commits in that time, it's possible he could establish a gap. We're also pretty deep into the race here. Hopefully I'll see a lap counter.
They are not as concerned.
Gap's looking good.
Now, the problem is it's George Simpson, a very good time trialist. I talked about
okay,
it a
so
little
that's
bit earlier.
George Simpson. He is a time trial rider from Project Echelon. Nashville local guys still hanging in there. This field is much smaller. We're probably at half the field size that we had at the beginning. For reference, a little over half of my field was dropped at Sunny King. Some of them were dropped and didn't get pulled, but they were like 30 seconds down. Like over half of people were 30 seconds or more down, if not even pulled. When they pull you, they count the number of laps you didn't do. So then, like, the people who get pulled 9 laps down lose to the people who get pulled. Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it. I got a lot of stuff on my screen here, so I appreciate the help spotting that. Yeah, I don't think this solo rider is gonna do it, but this is what they have to do. Is as long as all of these teams that are not Legion are sending guys up the road consistently, it's going to make Legion use those guys, fully use the guys that are doing the chasing. And that could leave Legion with, rather than having 5 guys that are fresh for the lead out, they got 2 guys that are fresh for the lead out. They could also, like I said, look at each other and try and get someone else to pull. Maybe that's not Kerry Werner with the GoPro. I think I got a good look at that dude's face, and it was not him. Ty Magner is up there for Legion. So this is how you know it's getting serious, though. If you see Ty, who has national champion stripes on his Legion kit, white guy, national champion stripes on the Legion kit. When you see him pulling through, I think that's an indicator that they're committing more people to the chase, because his role is sort of like when we go from like Legion setting tempo to Legion doing the lead out, that's another ratcheting up of pace, and that's sort of his job, is to ratchet that pace even farther. Cliff Bar on the front, yeah, that's one of the Malherbe brothers, Connor, I believe, Malherbe. I would love to see Cliff getting more guys. I think he probably wanted to get some separation there and maybe make a play at getting across to this Project Echelon rider. I'm going to be interested to see. All right, we got 19 to go here. This Project Echelon rider's done a good turn off the front here. He's gotten a decent amount of laps done off the front. Let's see what we got in terms of a replay. Crash here or something? Nope, just random USA Crit slogan.
2018 Connor Mullerby finished 2nd overall in the USA Crit Series.
Yeah, so Frankie's talking about the 2018 overall results. 2018 was the year battle between Butcherbox and Cliff Bar in the overall. Looks like he's holding this gap. Maybe what Legion is doing is just keeping him on a tether here. I forget what that dude's name is on Legion with the longer hair and the mustache. Somebody, earrings, mustache, longer hair. It seems like his job is to set the sort of standard pace. And then they ratchet it up from there as they commit more and more riders to the chase. This is the first we've seen, though, like in this last 5-10 laps, this is the first we've seen the Legion train coming up here and really being the full Legion team all at the front. Yep, Frankie's calling out the mustache here on the stream. Seeing what he's got to say. This drone camera's crazy. The drone, I don't know if you guys saw the Tulsa camera coverage, but there was some cool drone footage where the drone was rolling above the group. The USA Crits broadcasts, other than the little hiccup they had, the broadcasts are really good this year, and just in general, good coverage. Really glad to. Okay, Sam. Cool. Thanks, Andrew. Yes, it is Sam from Legion.
The entire team up front right now in a great position.
So what Legion is doing right now, they were doing this the entire race for most of. Okay, Sam Boardman from Legion is the with the
First time we've seen him.
Sam Boardman with the mustache and the earring, and he's sort of the standard pace keeper for Legion. And the more you see guys that are not Sam Boardman pulling through, the more.
That happened.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, it's taken me years of following this stuff as much as possible. Also racing with some of these guys from time to time. Also, just like all of the various following people on YouTube to get all of this context around it that I can kind of bake into the commentary. But that's what makes it interesting, is kind of knowing who these guys are, what their strengths and weaknesses are, what their goals are. So if I had to bet, what's going to happen here is we will see a rider. I'm going to hope Cliff Bar or a Volo launch a counterattack as soon as they make contact with, looks like they got the Project Echelon. He's back. We're Grupo Compacto here. We're back together. So I think that if Legion lets that pace drop a little bit, that's going to be a dangerous time for a break to potentially go. We'll see if they let it. I mean, maybe this is their plan. Maybe they're going to do the old... So what United Healthcare used to do, I think United Healthcare is kind of the only comparable squad we've seen in the past to what Legion has been doing here. What United Healthcare used to do was relatively quiet throughout most of the race a lot of times, but toward the end with 10 laps to go, 12 laps to go, something like that, they would do what Legion is doing right here, full train the whole team to the front, and they would make it as fast. Basically, they would line up. It was like a batting order. So they had first guy, second guy, third guy. They all knew their position, and they also knew how many laps they had to do. So they would say, like, I'm the first guy. I got to do 2 laps as hard as I can. That first guy would know what he can hold for 2 laps, do it, pull off. His race is over. Second guy knows I got to do 3 laps. He would do 3 laps as hard as he can. He knows exactly what he can do for 3 laps, pull off. And the speed that they would do that, the speed they would bring the race up to was so fast that no one could get away from it. The only way to get separation from that would be to do a full sprint, and they would just know that those guys are going to fade and come back. So that was the UHC Blue Train. And that's comparable to what Legion has been doing. Although at Tulsa, Legion was riding wire to wire and doing what I was saying, like cranking the pace up when someone's off the front, cranking it back down a little bit when no one's off the front, cranking the pace up, like committing more Legion riders to chasing when the group off the front is larger, committing less Legion riders when it's 1 or 2 off the front. It's like a more adjustable version of the UHC strategy, which was a little bit more cut and dry generally.
Once again, Danny Summerhill is going to be able to take another lap lead.
That's Danny Summerhill on the he came through on the left for Best Buddies there. He's a legend of American racing. Summerhill is definitely somebody to watch. Okay, we got a replay of the point sprints here. Let's see what's going on.
Which will put him on the podium at the end of the night.
Yo, what's up, Brad? Welcome, Brad. Speaking of Sonny King, Brad did Sonny King with Brad 2019. He was on Shift Racing, my IRL road team. We had a sick year with Brad on the team in 2019. I think we won every state championship, cross, criterium, road, time trial, swept the Alabama State, everything. That was super fun. Yeah, I'm surprised to see the Evolo riders not launching here. That's been sort of their MO this whole race. And I want to say the Evolo guys know that they're not going to go toe-to-toe with Legion in the sprint. they're not
A lot of coasting going on in the
yeah,
back.
this is live. This is going on right now. This is Boise, Idaho. This is race number 2 of the USA Crit Series. So confusingly, there were 3 races in Tulsa, but not all 3 of those were USA Crits series races, I believe. I want to say that one of those counts for series points, or maybe one of them counts for elevated points. But so we've had that. We've had USA Crit Nationals, and then we've had Sunny King last weekend, as well as sort of same time as some of that stuff. There was a Tour of America's Dairyland going on, which is maybe I want to say Tour of America's Dairyland is not on any of the national, like it's not Pro Road Tour and it's not USA Crits series this year, but that is just like a race that's been going on forever, big prestigious criterium in America. Criterium series. Dairyland is like 8 or 9 days. Speaking of series like that, I think I'm going to try to do as much of Speed Week as I can. Speed Week is a week of crits throughout the Southeast. I think I'm going to try and do Grant Park, Athens Twilight, as many of them as I can get to reasonably. I'm also buying a house right now, so that plan could be dashed. Somebody's got to do something here, though. You can't let Legion just lead it like this. Although a lot of my Zwift teammates were saying this after Tulsa. Is like, why is everyone letting Legion ride the front the whole time? No one was letting Legion do anything. Legion was going a pace that is so high that no one wanted to come around. Which I've been there. Like last week at Sunny King, there were maybe 2 or 3 moments where I could have gone to the front and gone faster than what we were going, but the rest of the race, I mean, pretty much pinned to stay stuck in there and maintain a good position. It's weird that Best Buddies keeps going to. Okay, Summerhill must be going for these lap leader points. So there is. This is one cool thing about USA Crits as a series. I love USA Crits as a series. That's part of why I want to watch these and break them down and promote them. They have like multiple competitions going on. So there's a individual points leader competition, and that's for like points preems and also points at the finish. There's a teams points competition where teams, like all of their riders, score based on those intermediate points and also the points at the finish. You got teams like Butcherbox Automatic, probably not going toe-to-toe with Legion for some of these wins, but going to try to get a lot of guys high up in that finish so that they're racing for something and potentially come away with that overall points team points competition. You also got lap leader competition, so the individual rider who comes through the start finish first on the highest number of laps. It seems like Summerhill from Best Buddies, who's been riding the front here, might be trying to move on up in that competition. There's also Young Rider. There is. I'm looking at him right here. Summerhill, yeah. Overall series, yeah. So it's for people watching the Tour de France, not to keep connecting everything back to the Tour de France, but it's kind of like how you got the sprint jersey, the mountain jersey, and those are other storylines that like run completely through the Tour de France through the whole 3 weeks of it. These are storylines that run through the whole USA Crit series. So there is something. There's both like something for us to follow as fans, even if Legion is just like completely dominating. And then it's also like giving some of these guys an ulterior motive for getting to the front and riding hard other than just winning the race. There are other reasons that Best Buddies would be pulling right now.
Well, that was easy. $100.
CS Velo is looking like they're all together. I know CS Velo, Criterium Nation, great podcast. That was the genesis of the crit beef. If oh god, what have I done here? Nope, not looking to make a clip. Sorry, gonna bring this back. The genesis of crit beef was the Criterium Nation podcast made an Instagram post, but last week they had a breakdown from Sunny King, on Criterium Nation podcast, and they had one of the CS fellow riders on. Yeah, for sure. No, Legion. I agree. Legion is about to.
Talk about Gibbons not really being a great field sprinter. Well, he made me eat my words.
All right, we got 8 to go here.
As he won a big field sprint at Tour of America's Dairyland, he won the field sprint at Sunny King Criterium.
Frankie's talking about Sunny King. Criterium Nation had a podcast about Sunny King last week. I encourage everyone to either or both go listen to that podcast or watch my coverage of the pro race and also breakdown of my own race from that, which my breakdown will be out on the rest day on Monday on this YouTube channel. So, oh yeah, I'm a terrible YouTuber. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see some crit content, American racing, from the perspective of a guy who can kind of see the front occasionally. Follow this channel. I'm trying to provide some analysis of this stuff because I love these races. I love all of this stuff. I love the American scene, and I love how much how heated it's getting this year. I think USA Crits is coming into its own as a series, as a concept. So we're at 7 to go here when these guys come through. Obviously, Legion is the main team to watch. They're all lined up there. CS Velo, one of their riders was on Criterium Nation. You can see their train. They got the competing train. I was talking about it early on there. CS Velo is the white kit's pink shoulder right there. Looks like they're doing a good job of finding each other, getting together, getting in front, and potentially riding up alongside of Legion. From hearing them talk about Sunny King on that podcast, they feel pretty confident in their sprinter. They think he just maybe hasn't gotten a good chance yet. Looks like butcherbox is trying to put Connor Saley up there. They don't have a full train, but sprinting is like a mixture of art and science. You know, some of it is you got to have the legs to get there for sure. You got to know how to put yourself in a position to win. But then some of it is like, you know, if the guy in front of you goes left instead of right, you might win. If the guy in front of you launches early, you might win. Like, you can't control what everyone else is doing, so you can just put yourself in a good position and have the legs to capitalize on it. So obviously, Justin is the favorite. Actually, they might be sprinting for Corey here. I see Corey in front of Justin. Justin might be that could be super interesting, actually, if they had Justin riding as a sweeper here. And Justin, so what would happen there is everyone is looking at Justin. The sprint starts to go. Justin sits up. Corey, a gap goes between Corey and Justin. And that split second where all of the other top guys are looking at Justin, Corey's got 2 bike lanes. So that could be the move from Legion. They like to run a sweeper like that. The reason you do that, have a sweeper, which is someone who sits on the wheel of the sprinter, is that no one on a different team can be right on your sprinter's wheel and then potentially come around them in the last, just nip them at the line. It looks like the way they're lining it up, that could actually be the case. I'm not going to say that's definitely it, but that would be a nice, sneaky little move that they could pull. They may not need to also. But, so obviously Legion is the favorite here. Then we got probably Hernandez from Best Buddies would be sort of my second pick if someone else is going to take it. And then I think the dark horses that we will probably see, like, rounding out the wide-angle podium, if not grabbing it. Yeah, JC, this is 4 corners, wide open, super flat, super fast. You can pedal this whole thing. Boise Twilight. I think the guys with an outside chance that we might see filling up that podium would be Clever Martinez, who has miraculously found his way into the Legion sprint train here and there. Thomas Gibbons, Automatic Racing, definitely one of the best sprinters. Doesn't have as strong of a team as Legion. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it, America. I'm such a bad YouTuber. I always forget to tell people to like and subscribe and all that stuff that YouTube you're supposed to do. But please like and subscribe and all that stuff for YouTube. Clever Martinez. Connor Saley. I think Connor is going to be going for it. I think. I don't know if he's necessarily got it, but he's someone who could get lucky. Looks like we got Avolo with the desperation move here, trying to throw some haymakers. Fun to watch. Who else? I don't know about anybody else who I would think. I don't think Project Echelon has like a top tier sprinter here. They've mostly got like breakaway guys. Steven Vogel was the guy who was able to do the breakaway at Armed Forces Cycling Classic that went away, stayed away. That was a big national level race that happened before the USA Crit Series started up. But like Legion was there, Project Echelon was there, all the big teams were there. Wow, okay, this is how you know it's so fast. Looks like Legion is gonna do the old Legion. Okay, I'm looking at the Legion train. We're at 3 to go. We're about to see Legion start burning riders and splitting this race.
Tail gutting on the back right there. Team Cliff Bar, Chris Stewart.
Yep. I think that's Drum. I think that's a solid prediction. I think that's the most likely scenario. I'm trying to also cover the like outside chances that something else goes down. Yep, no more free laps. We're inside 5 to go. So if you get a technical... In the women's race, they had a crash within 5 to go, and they actually neutralized the whole race, meaning they let it come back together and restarted it. So fingers crossed there's no crashes. Hate to see that. Really good, clean racing at Sunny King last week. We had one guy crash solo in the Cat 2 race, but that was it for the Cat 2 race. And then no crashes in the pro race for these guys. So Legion has burned one. Where you're going to see the pace really pick up is when they put Ty Magner on the front. Ty used to be part of that UHC blue train, and you can tell it's Ty because he's got on... So Ty is right in front of Corey. So Ty is the third guy in that Legion train. He's the guy who ripped it apart in Tulsa. Looks like Automatics lost a couple of guys.
So far, 2019 played out this way.
Who's TG, Joe? What team is TG on? Let me know who we're pulling for here.
Now it's going to be 1 lap to go. It's going to be bell lap, final lap. Look at him out of the saddle, sprinting, flat out.
Here we go.
Look at the speed and look at the
full gas,
right
full
now.
gas.
Sam Boardman. Unbelievable. No, it's Cohen. Alec Cohen swinging.
David, earlier on in the race, teams were really just trying to get up there in front of Legion to soak points up, and I think a lot of them were hoping they were going to be able to put a rider up the road, and they just weren't able to. Speed's too high. There we go. Burn pulled off. Gibbons is up there. Gibbons is on the wheel. Gibbons is on the wheel. This is happening. Wow. Okay, so all of these guys are off the pace.
These are all the guys that are not going to win the race. The race is up the road.
Yep, we need switch this camera. Switch this camera.
Coming out of turn number 3 or 4.
Nope. There it is.
Here's our sprint right now. It's coming down. It's the final sprint.
Here we go.
Corey Williams in the white jersey.
Corey pulled off. Justin's got it. Justin and Corey. Oh God, the 1, 2, 3. Was that Ty? Ty third.
Justin Williams, your 2021 Boise.
I want to see that wide angle podium.
Second place, Corey Williams. Third place, Ty Magner.
Kind of disappointing we lost it.
Legion,
Yep, Ty Magner. I've been calling him out all race. He wasn't able to do it.
And Sean McElroy in 5th from Avolo. At that speed, the way
Avolo 4th and 5th.
You had your position and you were locked on
nice,
the wheel.
nice.
There was no changing position.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. As Justin Williams takes the win.
Too fast.
Corey Williams in 2nd, Ty Magner in 3rd.
Yeah, let's see the replay. Yeah, I've been calling out Ty Magner this whole race, so I'm glad to see him put something together. Ty was racing solo at Sunny King last week. If you want to see that, it's I did basically this, but after the fact for Sunny King because I was at Sunny King, so I couldn't do this. But wow, Frankie calling out Crit Beef, that's funny. Yeah, Ty was on his own at Sunny King. Had a real good aggressive race, but everybody knows that they gotta mark the Legion guy, so he was just not able to get anything going there. And I think all the other teams, Sunny King. So I'm going to say, if you really want to watch an interesting race, go back and watch Sunny King. It's on my channel below here. Super interesting because Legion only had one guy, so all the other big teams sort of smelled blood in the water, and they were throwing haymakers, including Best Buddies, and Best Buddies didn't get the win. They got second there, but really good active race. But the way that Ty was able to hold his own, the way he was able to rip the field apart. All right, I'm going to turn it up for this Justin interview. Let's listen, see what he's got to say.
You'll be able to hear what Justin Williams has to say.
You and your brother up there, and to see the big Legion machine control the last 20 laps. How do you guys do this?
Yeah, it's just all for one and one for all, man. We have an incredible group of guys that have bought into what we're doing and bought into a mission that goes beyond bike racing. And I think we have something incredibly special. And we just do what we can, man. We come out, we have fun. We ride our race. You know, we
I
try
don't think that
to
would be fun.
close some boxes and have everybody else ride our race. But
Type
we just
2
have a
fun.
lot of fun and we enjoy what we do.
Well, you had a huge amount of work from your teammate, Mr. Cowan, out there. He took the give back cream, had a lap to go, kept on going. He got you guys up there. He kept you up there. How important
that's
is
Alec
that to have
Cowan.
a workhorse?
Alec is an incredible athlete, man, and there's so many guys on our team that are capable of winning. As you can see, we come, you know, we get the lead out really deep. And to have everyone sacrifice for one goal, man, it's everything.
All right, so you are cementing a lead in these things, and you're going to go down in history one way or another as one of the best, greatest criterium riders in United States history, but you're looking at a great season so far, but, well, you got 6 or 7 stops to go.
Yeah, man, again, we're just glad to be back bike racing. We're grateful for everyone who showed up. You guys are incredible, amazing.
Looks like
I
they had
couldn't
a
even
good
hear
crowd.
anything on the last lap, and that's exactly what we want.
Coming out of the dark,
Good
out of turn
atmosphere.
4, you coming toward those lights. Is that a special sensation?
Yeah,
Thanks,
man,
Brad.
you see the
Appreciate
Capitol
it.
building to your
Good
left,
to
and you're,
good to see you on here.
you know,
Hey,
lighting
let's
it up at 45 miles an hour. It's a
let's do some racing on
amazing
Zwift, Brad.
feeling to see this Boise banner. Boise
Not
is
during
good
the
to us
summer,
every
doing
year.
too much real racing, but
this is one of our favorite
in the
stops
fall,
on the tour.
let's get on Zwift.
One of the
Smash it
hottest
up.
for sure, and one of the hottest on the course, Mr. Justin Williams, winner of tonight's.
So these guys will actually be coming to anybody who missed it. I'm Jonathan Crane. I'm a Cat 2 racer, crits, cyclocross, all that stuff. A lot of Zwift here. Thanks for stopping by, Barney. Good to see you. I'm out of Birmingham, Alabama, though, and these guys will be in Birmingham. There's a stop of USA Crits in Birmingham. My plan is to do the Cat 2 race there. Should be a good time. So I will be there seeing it live at least that one, if not a couple other times. I'll probably plan is to potentially also be at Athens Twilight, which is always a good race. Yeah, yo, thanks everybody for hanging out. I'm gonna cut it off. Seems like we're winding things down here. We're just gonna get the podium ceremony, which is gonna be another Legion coronation here. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Yeah, Tom. I wanted to do this one for fun to see how it would go, but looks like we got 60-something viewers across platforms, and I love talking about this stuff, so I'm going to be watching it anyway, and rather than talk to my fiance who's tired of hearing it and my cat or my teammates on the group ride the next day, I would rather be talking to you guys about it. So I plan to keep doing some sort of coverage of this season. Yeah, this is the thing, Drum. I think that the other teams are going to have to realize that they're going to have to start getting up the road in large numbers and working together. So, like, what's going to have to America will be doing this for. So I'm going to have a video, a more in-depth breakdown of my race from Sunny King out on the rest day from the tour, which is Monday. I will be, you know what, let's look at the USA Crits calendar before I log off here. I'm going to see if I can commit to watching along. Here's the thing, though. Even if I'm not... Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. Even if I can't do these live, I'm going to be doing some sort of rewatch and analysis or breaking down key moments, even when I can't do them live. But let's see if I'm pulling up the 2021. You know what? Let's show it. I ended up not using this, but
one of the best races we've seen in the history.
yeah, so looking at the calendar here. So we got, that's today. Salt Lake is on, I want to say am I racing on 17th? So I'll probably do Salt Lake. I'll probably do at least one of these streams for Salt Lake on 17th, 18th. Salt Lake, you guys want to watch? Probably do that. Littleton. Okay, here's this one, Hammerfest. I will not be streaming like this because I will be racing. So I will definitely have Hammerfest content. I will probably ride with some of these teams and all that stuff. But yeah, David, Cowan is an absolute monster. Everyone in that leadout is a monster. I mean, I said Ty is the one who split it at Tulsa. But yeah, August 14th. So that's like the next big goal in my season. I'm going to try to work some more stuff in around that. But me personally, I'm doing a time trial in the morning. So I'm actually going to get packed up, get to bed, and go do a time trial, which I hate doing. But yeah, so see you guys on July 17th, Salt Lake. Let's watch it. Let's talk about it. See you guys then. I'll probably subscribe to this channel. I'll try and get the live, like, get the stream set up so you can see that they're coming up on the channel live. So yeah, if you subscribe, you'll see them there. Yeah.
So great being able to see that.
Yes, Colin. See you then. See all you there.